But that's probably because I've been having a sketchy story on. Anyways, I can't access internet right now. I don't know what is wrong. I can only access, as I said, government web pages and Google itself. Yeah. Yeah, I can't access internet. Um, or you gotta get it printed first. I'll try to get it printed, but unless it's yeah. Last time I tried to get it printed, it formatted it. So you all still have internet? No? Okay. Am I the only one who can only access government web pages and YouTube? You have internet? Well. Is it the one called Joint Final Draft? Yeah. All right. Yeah, that's not the proper format. So I won't send it now. Maybe I'll send it in the break. But I need it to be proper formatting. So can you upload the Word version so I can do it? Yeah, now I have internet again. That's fine. But yeah, upload the Word version so I can do the formatting. Okay. Thank you. Yeah, I think you uploaded it somewhere else because it's not in the group. Maybe you uploaded it to the main Envymoon group and now. Okay. Well, that happens. Yeah, I extended the duration of the adjournment because I've just been informed that the break has been delayed from 11 to 11:30 as it should have been, but rather from 11:45 to 12. But I think there's already things outside, so I have no idea of why it's been delayed. I honestly don't understand it, and I've been given no clarification. I've just been told that the break has been postponed. I still want it to be a half an hour break instead of 15 minutes, so instead of finishing 11:45, I may finish it 11:30. Yeah. So as soon as this is uploaded, actually I have it in the USB now, so I can upload it. It's now the Word is uploaded. Okay, I'll upload the PDF as well then. Can you access the Word? You upload the PDF? Or you upload the... I'm uploading the PDF now. Okay, so everybody just have 5 minutes to read it. I won't be able to read it now. I'll read it during the break myself, so I won't be able to make comments or questions because I'll be doing the formatting, okay? So. So does anybody still need more time reading? If nobody needs more time reading, then I will welcome the submitting members to go to the front to answer questions. So, okay. All right. If you want to make any comments, please go ahead first, and then we'll go with questions.
Yes, so then just quick comments about this now joint draft. Most of the clauses should be familiar to everyone in the room. As we merged them, we got rid of those which are redundant and those which were not up to date anymore. To mention those clauses who were added would be especially to name clause number 2. It's now focused on the airport of Sana only, which should be open to civilian flights. This is not only the idea of the people in this room, but has been mentioned just 2 days ago in the speech of the special envoy that this is something we should put efforts into. Another new clause would be clause number, I'm sorry, where's the WHO clause? Clause number 7, as it emphasizes the importance to improve the humanitarian situation by stressing the mandates of the WHO and UNICEF and calling them to act upon their responsibilities to improve the situation. I guess another new clause could be explained by UK or US in the end, where something has been added as well or changed significantly.
So in our endeavor to, of course, also ensure that the Houthi population will be provided with all necessary goods, we especially now changed clause 13, which now is focused solely on Houthi militants and their armed affiliates, who should not get any financial support with the aim that there will be no further destabilization of Yemen, but it's not aimed on the Houthi population. Furthermore, we also emphasized in one of the preambles actually that the importance of the already active UNWIM in the regards of the arms embargo. So we don't have an arms embargo anymore, which includes the state of Saudi Arabia. Therefore, we eradicated that clause. Furthermore, we also, like already mentioned, try to keep in mind that the panel of experts has to be provided with safe access to the country, like mentioned in paragraph number 4. Okay, so I think we are open. Yes, we're open to questions by the other delegates.
Yeah, maybe I'll use that one. Yeah, I'm going to be working on the formatting, on the spelling mistakes, on the grammar, the commas, all the things that you have done. I'm going to work on that. So self-moderate yourself. Okay, just you rep.
Okay, thank you, distinguished delegates, for your effort of writing this joint resolution. France is concerned about the clause number 2, stating opening airport of Sana to civilian flights as well. We don't think that the stability within the country reached yet that the civilians can go in and go out within the to Yemen. So we would propose to open the airport of Sana'a only for humanitarian purposes, since we don't know who's going to leave and who's going to enter the Yemen. Thank you.
We all agree with the suggestion made by the delegate of France that the airport of Sana'a should be made for humanitarian, should be open for humanitarian access as well, as this would already be an improvement of the current situation. The idea to open it for civilian access as well is has just been raised by the special envoy, as he was cooperating with a group of, especially with a group of Yemeni women and children, or the youth citizens, as they said that only, also by allowing civilian flights with paying respect to all kinds of visa regulations, so not everybody will be able to leave or enter the country. So this there's still all kinds of international regulations that need to be considered. However, to allow the people of Yemen to come back what comes close to a normal life, since their situation is far away from normal, we should also open the airport for civilian flights to somehow give the country a chance to come back to normality.
Okay, thank you for the comment, but France thinks that taking into consideration that Sana'a and the capital is under the governance of the self-announced Houthis government, and most probably they will be responsible and they will be organizing all the structure of entering of civilians flights within the airport. And since we do not have any let's say support and towards the Houthi government, and we cannot rely on them in terms of that, the France would suggest to change and amend this clause only for humanitarian purposes. Yeah, that would be very difficult to organize and structure, which means that we need to go with the negotiations and with Houthis government. We hope that we've been clear in terms of what we mean by that. Thank you.
So
I will clarify there, France. Civilian flights include technically humanitarian flights. What is referred to as exclusive is civilian and military flights. All humanitarian aid and medicines are considered to be civilian flights, and the restriction is not being imposed yet by the Houthis. The restriction is being imposed by the Saudi coalition.
So if we don't know if that now needs any further clarification, of course we won't have an rebel-led airport. This is for sure. We want to guarantee that this airport is, in the end of the government, as like all airports, should be managed by the ruling and by the only legitimate government, and only if that can be ensured that either the legitimate government or possibly UN forces are in charge of handling this airport, of operating it, and civilian flights, especially humanitarian flights, are granted, only then it can be opened. So we see the possibility, or we see the fears as mentioned by the delegate of France, and we share them, and hence there shouldn't be the chance for terrorists or possible dangerous persons to enter the country via the airport of Sana'a.
Are there any more questions? All questions should have been asked when everybody was still at the front. No, just ask from there. But
So by the civilian flights, you mean the entrance of UN staff, yeah? Mostly UN staff, the UN related people, yeah? I mean, like not the tourists or and visitors or just the locals living the country.
That is correct, yes.
okay, since there were no more questions, I do encourage you to have what would be like a moderated caucus on the topic. Okay. So I will be uploading this soon, the revised version. But until then, yes, moderated caucus. So any delegates wishing to speak, please raise your placards. Delegate of China.
Thank you, Honorable Chair. An issue that has not been addressed sufficiently and that this committee should address, or at least mention in one clause, is the issue of the transitional government. And as there's only one legitimate government, and everyone in this room accepts this as the only government. However, we should consider the possibility of either suggesting a restructuring of the governmental structure or a possible inclusion or cooperation between the government and the former president to find a feasible solution that installs a long-lasting peace. So the delegate of Russia, of China, would repeat what he said yesterday, that, for example, the implementation of a house of interest of another UN, of another governmental body that includes several kinds of groups, of regional groups, of possible religious groups, would be a feasible solution for that. And would like to hear the opinions of the others on that.
The delegation of Ukraine agree with the delegate of China, what they mentioned about the point, and I just want to, the delegation of Ukraine just want to add up about the, maybe there will be, we can, and there it can be possible to have a new presidential selection for the people to have their for the people to vote and to choose their own leader. So I just want to emphasize and agree with the points which the delegation of China said. Thank you.
Thank you. So I very much also appreciate the attempts that we should focus on the time after the potential end of direct hostilities, as we implemented already in the resolution. We want also to have all necessary measures taken to rebuild infrastructure in the country. Still, it is surely important also to think about the political dimensions. Nevertheless, I would like also to stress out that primary peace talks between the involved internal conflict parties are, from my point of view as a delegate of the United Kingdom, most important, and that it is very difficult at this point of time to make any more detailed further recommendations on the political outcome or political system in Yemen nowadays.
Delegates wishing to speak, you don't have to speak only on the clauses that are already there. You can also speak on clauses that have not been included there. And so any delegate that hasn't spoken yet, China.
The delegate of China thanks the delegate of the United Kingdom for this comment, and we definitely agree that the peace talks are most important, and that we can't foresee the result of the peace talks. However, we think that a recommendation especially to show the commitment of this committee for a long-lasting peace and a secure political stability, and a solution that will solve further conflicts or the involvement of the same conflict again, should be mentioned somehow as additional clause, and hence we should include another clause, even if it's just a recommendation, that just shows our commitment to a peaceful solution.
Anybody else wishing to speak? Does nobody have then any comments? Then does anybody have any amendment suggestions? Yes, delegate of China.
That was a close one. The delegate of China would motion to adjourn the meeting for 5 minutes to write a possible amendment on a recommendation.
Okay. Yeah, that would be in order. There are other things that you can still do. For example, suggest the creation of a list of banned items, because right now what the Saudis are doing is that they take whatever decision they want by themselves, and then they can argue that food has dual military civilian use, and therefore delay the arrival of food or medicine by 6 months. Well, 6 weeks, sorry. If, however, there would be something like a list of banned items, then it would simply be a simple decision of saying, okay, this is not banned, and therefore we cannot delay it. Then there is also this listing criteria for resolution. Which one is it? 2140 says that obstructing the delivery of humanitarian assistance to Yemen or access to or distribution of humanitarian assistance in Yemen is subject to sanctions. Lifting the blockade in Sana'a is one step forward. However, there has been no, I don't think that, besides some of the parties of the Houthis itself, you have not really addressed the issue of the Saudi Arabia blocking humanitarian access to Yemen. So there are still things that I would suggest you include. Then again, we don't have that much time. We only have 15 minutes now, and then we will have another hour afterwards, and that will be done. So I do suggest that you think of a couple of more clauses that could be implemented, and that's it. So we will adjourn if that passes for 13 minutes. Please work in this room, because then people will have the break, and I don't think you want to be outside when everybody starts coming outside. But yes, so are there any other points or motions, though? If not, please raise, who seconds the motion? USA seconds the motion. Votes in favor of the motion, please raise your placards. Votes against, and this motion clearly passes. Sorry. I'm going to just read you one paragraph from Oxfam. I just found this article. It's called "Closure of Yemen's main airport puts millions of people at risk." Just to clarify on that point, maybe you also want to clarify it with an amendment. Oxfam and 11 other aid agencies, which we do not recognize as official facts, but have called on the Saudi-led coalition to lift restrictions on Yemeni airspace in order to allow for the reopening of the country's main airport and to allow humanitarian flights to resume. Alongside humanitarian flights, commercial flights, which also often bring in vital supplies and allow the free movement of civilians, should also be allowed to recommence. So civilian flights is a category that includes both humanitarian aid and commercial flights, and the clarification that you wanted is the allowing commercial flights. So that is the word that you wanted. Nevertheless, under civilian flights, you would be allowing both. You may want to specify that you actually mean both or that you don't mean both. It's up to you, but that would be the technical clarification on that clause. Also, try to avoid redundant clauses. Clause 16 reads, reaffirms its intentions to keep the situation in Yemen under continuous review and its readiness to reconsider the appropriateness of the measures articulated in this resolution at any time needed, considering developments. Clause 17 reads much shorter and exactly the same thing, decides to remain actively seized on the matter. All right, I've uploaded the revised version as a Word document, so you can still continue to edit it on Facebook. I didn't really change the content except for one clause. The rest has just been the formatting. Also, as I said, I wanted to keep the break half an hour, but they said it's only 15 minutes from 11:45 to 12. So I will now declare the session to be pretty much over so that you don't really have to stick to any time limit. You're free to use the half an hour as you want. You can use the 15 minutes now to continue writing amendments and then just have your coffee break. You can decide to use the half an hour to not do anything. It's up to you. But from now on, it's unofficially a break. 1 hour for amendments, so we'll go quickly over them. I know he has it already because I sent him to him by email and he read the message already. So he maybe already has it. So if you can avoid giving him a USB again, that'd be better. Thank you. Yes. There's no need for that. I think right.
The
That
question is whether it is possible to address it.
which clause is it again?
It's clause 7. So would it be in order to add another clause mentioning the WHO and its important role in fighting?
If you want to mention a specific task for them, then yes. But the moment you say that all United Nations system entities, actually system should also be all United Nations entities in accordance with their respective mandates, then it makes it really redundant to then mention two, because you're already saying all of them in their respective mandates. I don't know if you read one of the documents I say it. It's a 40-page document called the Guide to Writing for the United Nations, and they specifically advise against doing these type of redundancies. So if you have a specific task that you want to say, such as the WHO increasing their role in this, that'd be okay. You could, but otherwise it's just redundant. It's now 1:45, so I mean, you're welcome to stay here and write and work. You're also welcome to, like have some cookies. No, we're going to be doing it on a one-by-one basis, just to prevent confusion. But do send them to me via Facebook message or yeah, so that I can start approving them and formatting them. Yeah.